This topic falls on the things you should really practice. I call this harmonic upkeep for myself because I still do this once a week, and I started doing this years and years ago. It's 1-4-7-3-6-2-5-1 in major, then harmonic minor, the relative minor. And today happens to be the day that I'm doing this, so I decided to throw it up on the screen and just go through it. But first, I want to cover some things that are really important about learning this sequence that I never really talk about much. And we'll do this by demonstrating certain aspects of this sequence. This kind of root movement here is actually super strong. It has an inevitable pull from one chord to the next in a counterclockwise circle of fifth in key motion, making it almost impossible to fail with it. So it's 1-4-7-3-6-2-5-1 in major, and then in harmonic minor, it's 1-4-7-3-6-2-5-1. I choose harmonic minor instead of natural minor because you have different chords to deal with. But if you look at a circle of fifth charts, if we do the one in C, what's the next one note in the circle of fifths? F, B, E, A, D, G. So let's take a little case in point. Let's do 1-4-2-5. 1, 4 is part of the sequence. 2, 5, 1 is part of the sequence. 1, 4, 2, 5, 1. Everybody knows 2, 5, 1. You've probably heard it 1,000 times. Well, look below. It's in this sequence. 2, 5, 1, the last three chords of the sequence. It's contained in this. So you're learning 2-5-1, one of the most common historic moves. So if we go 1, 6, what comes after 6 in this sequence? 2, 5, 1. So you got yourself a chord progression by using smaller chunks of this sequence. We could use 1-4-2-5 and 1-6-2-5-1. as a formula, and they're all in this sequence here. So if I just improvise on that, it's going to work out very nice because it's usually mostly partial aspects of this strong pull sequence. This is a super easy way to create progressions, is just to take partial aspects of this sequence. In minor, if we do 1-4-2-5, it still works. 2, 5, 1. That's not only a jazz thing, that's a very common thing that's been around for a long time. You could do 1-6, 2, 5, because what follows 6? 2. And then what follows 2? 5. So we could do 1-4-2-5, 1-6, 2, 5 as a harmonic sequence, which is the minor version of what we just did in major. I'll improvise on it. So it works out fine. So you could literally just borrow aspects of this progression. 4, 2, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5. Okay, so there you go. Easy way to create chord progressions. I can also borrow aspects of this particular sequence when I use a mode like mixolydian. That would be F mixolydian. The relative minor is G minor, so I could use the 2 of G minor, 2, 5, but by first starting in F mixolydian, and this creates a very dramatic kind of sound. Mixolydian. 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1. So I created a chain sequence using the same melody by borrowing aspects of the minor resolution of the two in relationship to a mode, in this case Mixolydian. G Mixolydian, up a third, is that diminished chord, 2, 5. And I'm just showing you reasons why you should learn this harmonic sequence completely, because you could borrow aspects of it, even with modes. So, getting started, 1, 4, 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. By the way, I'm going to time this, okay? Move to relative minor, harmonic minor, because you're using different chords. Doesn't matter how you play it either. If you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. So move that down to F, going around the circle of fifths. 7, 3. You could use seventh chords if you want. 2, 5, 1. Go into the relative minor of F, harmonic minor. Using the circle of fifths, B flat. 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. Relative minor of B flat, G minor. Going down the circle of fifths, E flat. Relative minor of E flat, C minor. Circle of fifths, A flat. Relative minor of A flat, F minor. Circle of fifths, D flat. Relative minor of D flat, B flat, minor. Circle of fifths, G flat or F sharp major. Again, it really doesn't matter how you do it as long as you know what you're doing and what chord is what. Relative minor, E flat minor or D sharp minor. And actually a pointer is don't do this super fast. I'm probably doing it too fast. I was tapping out the 7th because occasionally I'll throw in a 7th just to try different voicings. So in B major, relative minor of B major is G sharp minor. And to be honest, anymore I don't have a specific way that I do this exercise each time. It's not exactly the same. So E major. It's mostly because I've been doing this for so many years. Remember, you don't always need a fifth. Relative minor, C sharp minor. A major. Relative minor of A major, F sharp minor. D would be the next one in the order. Relative minor of D, B minor. G major. Relative minor of G major, E minor. And we're done, because we'd start at C again. So timing rise around 4 minutes of your day to do 10, 20, 4 different scales and all their chords. That's pretty good. So you want to get used to using these chords. even in just sequences. Right there. And this is what this exercise is going to help you do. Be able to use these things with ease. As a composer, we're not looking to be Chopin. So 6, here's a 2. I'm going to use the part aspect of this sequence again. 5. And then you could go right back to your 1. As a side note, you could also use aspects of this sequence to modulate distantly. So I would actually say do this like every other day until you have it down pat, because that's literally 24 different keys. But once it's down pat and you can do it pretty easily, even with mistakes, it doesn't matter. Reduce that to maybe once a week, and you're taking, like I said, about 4 minutes out of your day. But you got to remember that if you don't use something, you're going to lose it. So if you don't keep doing this over and over again, you're going to eventually lose it, and you'll be back, closer to square one than you were at closer to mastery of being able to pull this off fairly easily as part of your harmonic upkeep routine. Can think of it like a performer has upkeep routines. Think of your harmony as the same way. You have to keep doing things over and over again, and it's probably going to be the rest of your life the bigger your vocabulary gets. However, you're going to find, though, in the future, the bigger your vocabulary gets, the better your musical memory becomes, so it's not as hard to remember things. Thus, I would say this is more crucial in the memorization stage, but I still do it for harmonic upkeep. So the following week, I may still do the same exercise, but with extensions and inversions instead. And I'll just record it as I go through it, like I did this one. Just remember, you're not trying to become a great keyboardist. Leave that up to performers. You're just trying to memorize harmony.